Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Just a reminder of our topic of discussion on the broadcast tonight. We're making sense of devolution, reflecting on the status of devolution across the country ahead of the 2025 Devolution Conference, which begins tomorrow. Governor Anyang Nyong'o is our guest tonight. Governor, there are calls to devolve more functions from the national government to the county government. Do the county governments have the capacity to adopt those devolved functions?
Yes, the counties have the capacity. Take, for example, the health sector, which was devolved to the counties. The counties have come up with many more innovative programs in the health sector than before. Not only is there increased access to care, but the counties have also improved the health infrastructure. And the counties have prepared certain health institutions to be taken over by the government after improvements done by the counties. I'll give you, for example, the Jaramogi Oginga Teaching and Referral Hospital here in Kisumu. It is precisely because of the kind of investment we made in Jaramogi that we prepared it to be taken over by the national government. When the national government is now taking over Jaramogi, the national government will put in investments, all right, but they will find that the county government are going in a very far. For example, staffing the hospital, creating a cancer center, even coming in with hematology and sickle cell anemia, research and curative initiatives. So the county government really, let alone infrastructure in terms of buildings, the county government have really put in a lot of money in the services at its disposal. I will mention the health sector, but there are others, like I would say, like in agriculture, in primary health, primary education, ECD, like in roads, infrastructure, like in fisheries, like in forestry, like in flood control. There are a lot of things we have done at the county level, quite often in collaboration with the national government.
Fair enough, Prof. And if we are reflecting on devolution, and this is figuratively a 13-year-old baby, what would this baby figuratively need, in your view, Governor, for it to flourish?
The baby will definitely need more milk and more mother care. This baby will definitely need to be to come together with other babies and play together. So this baby needs a place to feel at home. This baby needs to be encouraged to grow, mother care, and this baby sooner or later will become an adolescent and will grow up.
On some of the functions that you want as Council of Governors and Governors devolve Governor, is one you are latest on record for. You said, and I quote, "In this day and age, I don't see why the national government should bother with Kura and Kera. This is the job that can be done by counties."
Exactly. Because first of all, Kura and Kera does very bad jobs, by the way. They are not really accountable to anybody. Apparently, they are accountable to the national government. If they are accountable to the national government not doing a very good job in making them accountable. Kura and Kera really waste money, if you ask me. The kind of job they do, we can do in the county very efficiently, very effectively, with very little money. Secondly, for example, in Kisumu County, we introduced something called machine-based maintenance of roads. In other words, we buy machines and like tractors and so on, and we put them in certain roads for maintenance only. What it requires, somebody who can drive a tractor, and then you will hire workers along the road where you are working by training somebody to build the road. Once the tractor is on the road, to make sure that it is properly, the debris are removed and so on. It's manual work. And in the end, we construct roads much cheaper than we found the national government constructing them before in the rural areas. We are constructing many more roads to have accessibility to our wards and our local areas, many more roads than we found when we came into government as a county. So I think this is something that is proven. The records are there. You can measure the roads. Now, the problem usually is maintenance, because maintenance now require money. And this is why we're saying that if we're going to construct roads and break new roads, we should have the money to maintain them. And allocation to roads by the national government in the county government should improve.
Governor, you talk of money. There is often the debate on the allocations to the counties, how much they should get in every literally financial year. What, in your view, is enough, would you say, relatively percentage-wise, that the counties should receive from the national government?
At the moment, you know, the Constitution says very clearly what the percentage should be. That one is never met, really rarely met. We have to struggle to make sure that that's met. I think 15% or something. I think what we need to do really between us and national government, the facts are now there. We have had enough years of devolution. The national government can send its personnel to come and assess what's happening, quantify what has been spent. Let us deal with real figures, not fictitious figures. Let us make sure that the money we allocate to counties are, for roads particularly, are effectively used for building roads and not nothing else, so that we can every year give reports in our own, to our own assemblies and to our people, and also give reports to the national government. That is through the Auditor General, because the Auditor General audits everybody. The Auditor General should be able to say, yes, you allocated so much money for roads. Yes, I have seen the roads. Yes, I believe that money was used correctly. If not, account for the money properly.
All right, Governor, because of the interest of time, we have talked extensively of devolution on the counties. I want us to talk quickly about the state of the country in as far as the politics of it is concerned. You are elected as an ODM governor. There is a confusion, quite literally, whether your party is in government or not, having donated what it termed as experts. Is ODM, the party you, I believe, held its leadership position in an acting capacity in government?
At a critical time in recent history in Kenya, the nation was falling apart. And the government itself needed support and ideas on how to sustain stability in the nation. So our party leader had discussions with the president and said, Mr. President, things are not going on very well. The president also agreed things are not going on very well. At this point in time, countries usually, the opposition and the government usually come together. In the West, it was during wars, like the First World War, Second World War, and so on. The Labour and the Conservatives come together and say there's something much more important happening in our country, war. We cannot afford to have divisions in parliament. Let's discuss that and deal with that first and foremost. In our case, for example, the UDA government found that the problems facing it, that it needed the opposition to support, to help it. So our president and our leader our Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, the leader of the ODM, came together and discussed what needed to be done. And they agreed on a few points where they can collaborate to stabilize the country, to ensure that the country delivers services to the people without conflict. Okay. So that is what happened. It was a collaboration necessary for the times, way before the elections. When the elections come, we as a party will definitely run candidates as a party.
Prof, will it be fair to sum up your response to my question as yes, ODM is part of the government?
My answer is the following. The ODM is participating in government without being in government. It is participating in government. It's not part and parcel of the government. The government was formed by UDA. We can't change that. That is something that will only be changed after 5 years when elections are held. But at the moment, given the crisis that the nation was faced with, our leaders saw it wise, and the president saw it wise, that they can work together until these problems facing the country are sorted out, and the country is stable enough to go to the election as one nation.
And Governor, you say at the right time our party will field candidates. Is that to suppose ODM will field a presidential candidate to challenge President William Ruto in the 2027 polls equally?
As of now, that is the position. Because it's a party, it's an independent party, it has the right to field a candidate. If indeed there does come discourse towards the elections to do otherwise, we wait to cross the bridge when the time comes.
But as of now, ODM will field candidates irrespective of the position they will seek, including the presidency.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Governor, one last question perhaps. At the funeral of the late icon Phoebe Seo, you drew a link between femicide and the rise in Airbnbs, and you gave a classical case of what you see in Kisumu. You said, and I quote, at the burial, you said, femicide is increasing in Kenya at geometric progression. We have a theory in Kisumu County, the increase of femicide is associated with increase in Airbnbs. You asked the president and the former prime minister to restrict and control the opening and use of Airbnbs.
Not to restrict and control, I said there should be a law, there should be a management of Airbnbs that doesn't make them easily accessible by those who commit femicide. In other words, we should know in Kisumu which apartment in that block is used for Airbnb. And that should be registered by the Kisumu government. That we have this apartment is Airbnb, that one, and so we know the number of Airbnb that exists in our city. Secondly, when people use Airbnb, it should not be a mysterious thing. It should be a very open thing. If there's record that somebody has used Airbnb for 2 days, what is there to hide that information? It is the ability to hide the information that leads to people using Airbnb in ways by which they perhaps could easily go against the law and commit such crimes as femicide.
All right, and Governor, as you participate finally in the Devolution conference, the 9th for that matter, what would you say is the success story of devolution in Kisumu under the governorship of Professor Anyang?
The success story in Kisumu is the following. One, I'm proud of our healthcare system now. We have done much more than when we came into government. Secondly, I'm very proud by the number of ECD schools, ECD classes that we have opened in the country. Many more children have access to ECDs. They can prepare and go to primary schools much better than before. Three, I'm very proud by the number of roads that were built in the country. I'm really in the county. I'm proud of that. Four, I'm proud of the fact that we are now much better in creating wealth in agriculture and in fisheries. I'm very proud of that. We have opened many more beaches on Lake Victoria. Just the other day, we had the relevant permanent secretary opening these beaches in Lake Victoria. Five, I'm proud of the fact that we can now communicate much more easily with our neighbors on the lake. And six, I'm proud of the fact that we have worked with the national government, a place like the Kabonya-Kanagwal Fisheries Project, which is we produce fish fingerlings to give to fish farmers, and also become a training center for those who want to engage in fisheries. I'm proud of so many things that devolution we have done under devolution, and we will continue to do more.
All right, Governor, thank you very much for making time for us tonight on TV 47.
Thank you so much for bringing me. I'm happy. I'm prepared to come back again anytime you call me.
Thank you, Governor. We are talking of devolution, the state of the counties, and the country's politics as well. Let's get